Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers and subscribers, at the channel we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because it saves lives. That is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives on this channel. We at this channel aid criminals, their financiers, their supporters, enablers, and the likes with a passion, and we do not want them over here. Yes, let us repeat ourselves. We do not want any criminal supporters over here. Please, we do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you, the criminal supporters, enablers, financiers, and all the likes, to go to prison or madness. Let me repeat myself. We at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we do not want the criminal supporters and their circle over here. We want you to go to prison or madden. Moving on to our video. Yes, you know that yours truly is a former detective of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and we have been investigating so many cases, murder, and you can name it, even down to assault hobby. At one point, even as a detective, we still, some uniform police, they are really lazy. So sometimes we pick up a little slack from there. What they're supposed to be investigating. So right now, if you look at your LCD, this is not your ordinary video, and some people might be upset and some people might be happy that we are covering the story, but we notice we haven't seen anyone touch this. I don't know for what reason, but we are the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not ruling to anyone or any guy or any entity in Jamaica. And we believe in justice. Justice must not only be done, justice must be blind. And we can tell you that with this case, this man, Clarke, you're looking at him, that's the man on the upper right, and below there you see a member of the Jamaica Defense Force, that's a soldier. And we can tell you that these soldiers, they are guilty of murdering Clarke. When I ask you, we're telling you. So these men are guilty of murder. 3 soldiers, Lance Corporal Greg Tingling, Lance Corporal Odell Buckley, and Private Arnold Henry. And we're going to give you the facts. Because you cannot, on God's earth, you're going to fire 572 5.56 millimeter rounds that are from the M16 rifles, and we're going to tell you why it is murder and how many clips, how many magazines they have to put in their M16 rifles to kill this man. 572 rounds. That is like a war zone. One man. That is not murder. That is more than a murder. That is an assassination. And it's, you understand, it's just evil, the epitome of evil. And remember that when they what's his name, they were trying to give the soldier them immunity from prosecution for murder. 572 shots, bullets. Just think of it. And if you have a brother or a sister or anyone and they're in their home and their home has been breached and they have been killed for nothing, just for being at home. 572 shots, bullets fired, and they say it's a shootout in which there is no evidence to show that there was a shootout. So it's a sad day, and these soldiers need to pay for their crimes of killing this one. Because this one, that's one of the man is a Jamaican, the man is a patriot. And all the man did was at home. minding his own business when they came there. So we're telling you that they are guilty of murdering Mr. Keith Clarke because the man was no threat to anyone, and the only crime he committed was that he was in his home with his family and ended up being killed by knuckleheads. Yes, 3 soldiers. So basically, this is not a kill. This is not a murder. It's assassination. 3 soldiers, Corporal Greg Tingling, that is Lance Corporals Greg Tingling, Lance Corporal Odile Buckley, Private Arnold Henry. And here are the facts. Murder, listen now, murder is defined as the unlawful killing of another human being. Stands apart from the broader category of homicides, which include all forms of killings. So here are the key elements. In law, what they would say now as police officer, when I was at the Jamaica Police Academy, or even as a detective, they would tell you that these are the points to prove the offense. Because you cannot just charge someone with murder without all the points to prove the offense. That someone is dead first, and second, the act was unlawfulness. The act is not justified by self-defense, war, or legal execution. So that means it's murder. 3, human victim. The victim must be a person. That means when we say a person, I mean the person must either a male or a female, or whether them have it doesn't matter what them have, them still a human being. That's how it is. You understand? Yes. So you cannot take that away from them. Once that is established. That's murder. Malice aforethought. This legal concept involves intent. So before they went there, based on the actions of these men, 572 M16 cartridges that they expended on the scene. And we're going to explain to you why it's murder and an assassination. And this was malice aforethought. Malice aforethought, this legal concept involves intent. That means that's something you plan, that they plan before them even visit the scene. They had planned already that they were going to kill this man. So it wasn't any accident or anything like that. For you to fire 572 rounds, you have to reload in an M16. It's not like, M16s are not like guns with chain, like link, or the bullets are in like just like how you see in a movie, and you see the bullets, they are like a chain link, and the links them just and the bullets going. No, it's not like that. An M16 use magazine, and the standard for the magazine is 30 rounds for the Jamaican Defence Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So typical murder requires premeditation, planning to kill, or acting with depraved indifference to human life. And that is what they have done. 572 bullets that they had fired. Remember that, 572 bullets. That's like a war zone. And there was no war. So their intention was to kill this man. They went there with that intention and they carried out their act and killed him. That's why we're telling you it's murder. Anyone else tell you it's something else, we're telling you that they are misleading and they are not, being honest, or being honest brokers. So they are very, very deceptive. We at the Jamaica Young Police, we'll always tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. That's what we are here about. So additionally, murder is classified into different categories based on specific intent and circumstances surrounding the act. These classifications often determine the severity or the seriousness of the charges and the corresponding penalties. We are telling you, Keith Clarke's murder case, a cold-blooded assassination. If you don't know what is an assassination, well, now you know. More than 572 rounds was fired. That's not a war zone. That's not Ramadi, Iraq, where you're getting resistance from the Arabs that that fighting against don't want the Americans there. This is a total different case. This is not Ramadi, Iraq. You understand? This is Jamaica, uptown Jamaica. So Keith Clarke's tragic death is more than a murder. It was a blatant assassination. The sheer number of 5.56mm rounds fired at him suggests deliberate, cold-blooded act, leaving no chance of survival. This was not an act of self-defense. It was an execution. Let me repeat myself. The sheer number of 5.56mm rounds fired at him, at Keith Clarke, suggests a deliberate, cold-blooded act, leaving no chance of survival. This was not an act of self-defense, it was an execution. I will tell you why it's an execution. An M16 rifle magazine holds 30 rounds of 5.56 ammunition. So most Jamaicans know what an M16 rifle looks like. To understand the extent of the excessive force used in Keith Clarke's murder, let's divide the total number of rounds fired by the capacity of a single magazine. So we do some calculation. Yeah, we're good. Look here, we have a solid A plus in statistic. Yeah, and calculus. When I think about calculus bigger than algebra, I know calculus how you have to read and translate the information, and we have a solid A in that. So we are telling you about this now, how it works with the calculation. So we're gonna the number of magazine used. So we're gonna have 572, yes, divide by 30. And that's how you're going to get 19.07 magazine. So it's 19 magazine that they had. So each of them fire 6 magazine. 6. Each of them fire at least 6 magazines. That's another shootout. That's an assassination. 6 each man. So you have to fire, drop one, put in another one, drop again. And so that was a straight execution. That's why we tell us it's murder. It's an assassination. So just think about it. So these soldiers use approximately 19 magazines to fire 572 rounds at a 63-year-old man in his own house. This staggering number further underscored the brutality and excessive nature of the force used in this tragic incident. 3 soldiers guilty of murdering Keith Clarke, and here are the facts. Lance Corporals Greg Tingling and Odell Buckley, along with Private Arnold Henry, stand guilty of cold-blooded murder of Keith Clarke. The facts surrounding the tragic case paints a disturbing picture of excessive force and a potential cover-up. So the excessive force, one, I'll tell you the facts. One, excessive force use. 572 rounds fire. The soldiers fire and astonished 572 rounds of 5.56 ammunition at Keith Clarke's, who was in his own home. And like the man that was treating him, never done a Tivoli as what them claim. That was happening over 14 years ago. Keith Clarke dead, he never do anything. Keith Clarke was in his home. Just think, if it was your family member, they are in their home and somebody just come and kill them, how would you feel? You have to think about that. You have to put yourself in the next man's shoes. You understand? You have to have a thing on empathy and sympathy. How make it make sense? How somebody fire 30 rounds, drop a magazine, put in another one, fire 30 more rounds, drop a magazine, put in another one. That has we're gone
There's a 230 that are 60 rounds. Fire 30 rounds. Put in another magazine that are 90. Fire 30 rounds. Put in another magazine that are 120. Fire 30 rounds. Put in another magazine that are 150. Fire 30 rounds. Put in a magazine that are 180. Them fire 572 rounds. 19 magazine between the three of them. 19. You understand? There's no justification for that. So Mr. Clarke was in his own home. Such an overwhelming use of force is not justifiable under any circumstances. Can't be justifiable. That's not a shootout. That's an assassination. Any liar, anybody else tell you anything, and you as a juror on this case, you cannot let these men go. You know, no matter about them I tell about encouraging and Dudus. Dudus wasn't there. It's all a lie. This is a cold-blooded assassin. This is an assassination. It could happen to anyone. It could happen to you. And uptown, this is another downtown. It's uptown. This is where them kill the man. Where in Jamaica, people normally feel that it's the safest place that for you to live. But the security force treat people uptown totally different. But guess what now? This was an assassination. Kill this man. And when I delve back in the background of this thing, we'll just tell you about this murder. So the circumstances of the shooting, unarmed victim. Keith Clarke was inside his main bedroom. He was reportedly shot while climbing down from a closet with his back turned to the soldiers, indicated he posed no threat. For you to shoot a man in his back, him supposed to be normally he's a running gun battle, but him have the gun and a pint behind him and a fire. So him not even look where him a fire, him must a fire because he want to scare you if you get where. That's the only time you can't shoot a man in him back. You can't shoot a man in him back where you climb down from the closet with his back turned to the soldiers. So imagine your back turned and you come down and the man then just start light you up. Lack of threat. Clarke widow and daughter testify that there was no one else in the house, directly contradicting the defense claim that Christopher Dudus Corke and his armed associates were hiding there. That's a lie. Dudus was nowhere near there. Dudus was in Maypen. Dudus was in Maypen. Christopher Dudus Corke was in Maypen. Even Biggerford can testify to that too. We'll tell you that when I ask you. We'll tell you about SSP Biggerford can tell you that Dudus Corke was not nowhere near there. 3. Investigation flaws. Missing evidence test. Key items, including 8 red stripe beer bottles found at the scene, were not tested for fingerprints or DNA. So this raises question about the thoroughness and integrity of the investigation. Inadequate scene documentation. Critical areas such as a busy terrain behind the house were not photographed. The investigator admitted to writing statement long after the incident, which undermined the reliability of his report. 4. Forensic investigators' testimony. Questionable professionalism. So I'm supposed to be sacked for that, you know. The forensic investigator, under cross-examination, could not recall essential details and admitted to not performing critical tests. He claimed that he have acted solely under the instruction of the deceased crime scene manager, Inspector Victor Mendez, indicating a lack of independent professionalism. So I blame the dead man now. Yes. I tell you that, hey, police are easy, you know. You find the dead man now. Put the blame on. Yes, I dead police cause it. So the defense claim versus the family testimony. The defense argument. The defense argued that Corke and his heavily armed associates were using Clarke's home as an hideout and escape through the bushy area at the back. This claim was used to justify the excessive use of force, which is madness. None. The neighbors, them, everybody said there was no stranger. Nobody never come upon a bike. How them live? Lies. Dudus Corke was in Maypen, Clarendon. And we're going to do the video this week about it and tell you everything. I was supposed to do it from April. the family account, Clarke's family maintained that only they were in the house. They insist Clarke was murdered in cold-blooded with no provocation or threat warranting to such a violent response. So, according to justice, the facts unequivocally point to the guilt of Lance Corporals Greg Tingling and Odell Buckley, as well as Private Arnold Henry, in the murder of Keith Clarke. The sheer number of rounds fired, the circumstances of Clarke's death, and the glaring deficiency in the investigation all highlight a grave miscarriage of justice. So this was a state execution, assassination of this man by these people. And you have to wonder why now. So now you understand why they don't want to forget with Paula Llewellyn, because she never stopped. She took the government to task and the military and make certain that these men face criminal justice for killing this man. This man was in his home. You can't go kill somebody. The man is not criminal. The man is not whenever they don't do just lies. So Keith Clarke's death is not just a tragedy for his family, but a damning indictment. We will repeat it. Keith Clarke's death is not just a tragedy for his family, but a damning indictment of the action of those meant to protect and serve. How the hell you fire 572 shots? We talk to you layman, the people them. So when you can't go them soldiers and them guilty of murder, when a business one want to say. The excessive force used and the subsequent investigation failures suggest a deliberately attempt to cover up the truth. Justice must be served, holding these soldiers accountable for their actions and ensuring that such egregious violations of human rights are never repeated. You can't fire 572 shots and I say a shootout. No shootout, lie that. After I know I can't bury you today, I don't want to Tivoli Garden, uptown, that lie. Lies. So Keith Clarke murder is shrouded in troubling questions and glaring inconsistencies. The firing of 572 rounds of 5.56mm ammunition by 3 soldiers to kill 1 man in his home is not just an excessive, it's inexpectable. If this is not covered up, what could justify such a overwhelming use of force? Unjustifiable use of force. There is no conceivable justification for the level of violence against a single individual. Keith Clarke posed no immediate threat in his home that warrants such an extreme response. The sheer number of bullets fired indicate a deliberate intent rather than a defensive action. This wasn't just murder, it was an execution. Flaws and failure in the investigation. The forensic investigation into Clarke's death raises even more concern. Missing tests and evidence. 8 red stripe beer bottles at the scene weren't tested for fingerprint or DNA, nor were doorknobs or other potential evidence points within the house. These oversights suggest either negligence or intentional avoidance of thorough investigation. We know the police force here, you have only corrupt police in the police force and them do things, you understand, and as the investigator almost 2 years after him writing his statement. That doesn't make any sense at all. The investigator admitted to writing a statement up to 2 years after the incident, which cast doubt on the reliability and accuracy of their report, and photographed critical areas. Key areas such as the bushy terrain behind the house were not photographed, potentially overlooking vital evidence. And them still not even do that. The defense claimed that the fugitive Christopher Brown and his armed associates were using Clarke's home as a hideout, and they escaped through the bushy area of the back. And we know that's a lie. The evidence or lack thereof and the overwhelming use of force point to a grave miscarriage of justice. This situation smacks of a cover-up attempting to obscure the truth and protect those responsible for this atrocity. The integrity of the investigation and the soldiers' actions must be scrutinized under the harshest light. Keith Clarke's death cries out for justice. These soldiers are guilty of murder. Nothing else. It's murder, but not only it's a murder, but it was an assassination, execution style. Just remember the number, 572 rounds fired. What could this man have done for them that they have to fire so many rounds to kill him? No chance for him to live. The family and the public deserve to know the truth. There must be accountability for this brutal and unnecessary loss of life. The legal system and the law enforcement must demonstrate that no one is above the law and that such egregious act will not go unpunished. This case tests our commitment to justice and the rule of law. And guess what now? The soldiers them go there by themselves. Them not go with no police, you know. Them go there by themselves to kill the man. And then them tell lies, so them say Christopher do the score. Lie them a tell. Them a say do this, you know. We can't tell you, say, do this. I tell you this now. We just give you an hint tonight. Dudus was handed over to Bigger Ford. First one I hear this, to Bigger Ford, down by the police station named Fletcher's Land Police Station. We just give you a hint. Ask Bigger Ford that. And from there, Bigger Ford left with Christopher Dudus Cork from Fletcher's Land Police Station and hand him over to a member of parliament. I'm not tell you nothing yet about that. So all of them things are a lie. Dudus was nowhere near where Keith Clarke died. So in June 24, a forensic investigator testified in court regarding the crime scene at Keith Clarke's home, where he was fatally shot in May 2010. Despite accusation of incompetence from King's Counsel Peter Champagne, the detective Corporal maintained he acted professionally following the instruction of the now deceased crime man inspector Victor Mendez. So on that cross-examination, so you give evidence in chief. Evidence in chief, you talk when you go there, what you see and all kind of thing. Alright, so the investigator admitted that several lapses, although he collected 572 M16 spent shells and other evidence, he failed to conduct essential tests on many items, including 8 red stripe beer bottles found at the scene. No fingerprint or DNA tests were performed on these bottles, nor any doorknobs or other potential evidence in the house. The witnesses' defense was that they acted slowly on the instruction and lacked the authority to act independently. So them soldiers them got it by themselves, and a rogue soldier them. Who them working for? Who sent them? Because them claims to them work at MIU, military intelligence, but this was an assassination. We are tell you that. Nobody can, there's no justification. Look, I am one who was on the street as a detective, crime fighter. In my time, M16 with 30, it all depends on what's the intelligence and what go on the streets. 30 sometimes, 60 we have to travel with 2 clip. I never use more, I never fire off a full clip of M16 magazine. Involving, I can't even count how much shootout and everything. Never fire it off. And this are one man. All them fire 5, what kind of justification we fire 572 rounds? I remember the M16 have 30, the magazine have 30 rounds. So every time it finish, you have to drop it, and then you have to reload. You have to put in back a clip, and then you have to recharge your gun. Kind of the gun stop when you fire the M16. When it finish, you just hear a clock. So the barrel jam on the magazine. So you have to put in another magazine and you forward the breech. You forward the barrel and you start fire again. Some M16 you can fire upon single action or rapid. We some more or less a rapid them a fire upon rapid you go and anything it just tear it away. Anything in that way it's just tear it away. That's how the rapid go. It does tear anything in it and kill anything. You understand? So the defense attorney pointed out numerous failures such as not photographing the bushy area behind the house, which might have provided critical context to the case. These oversights cast doubt on the thoroughness and professionalism of the investigation, potentially undermining the prosecution's case. Look, this is not undermining. It no matter what them say, them could have want to say even magician or a 300 Christopher Dudu's coke was there. There's no justification for fire 572 rounds. That's the thing. That's the nexus with the case. The amount of gunshot with them fire. This is not self-defense. Self-defense didn't need 572 rounds to kill one man. Then shoot up all the man house, him car. So this was like, criminal. Because some of them must send a message. So that was it. Clarke was killing his men alone during a police military operation even capturing fugitive Christopher Dudu's coke. And that was a lie. He wasn't there. The defense claimed that Coke and his armed associates were hiding in Clarke in a basement and escaped through a bushy area. Clarke's widow and daughter, however, insist that there was no one else in the house, and Clarke was shot with his back turned while descending from a closet. So the man had come down from the closet because during the day the man knock on all kind of thing. The man, you understand, him get scared. So the evidence and testimony paints a disturbing picture of an operation gone wrong. Worse, a deliberate act of violence. Keith Clarke's death was not just a murder, but an assassination. The sheer volume of gunfire and lack of defensive wound, indicated he had no chance to defend himself. When you shoot a man in his back, he might come down off a closet and you shoot him in his back. That's a murder, execution. So this case demands justice for Keith Clarke and the integrity of law enforcement and the legal system. It's a one case where you can't let go a soldier. Them soldiers you need to go to prison. They murder Keith Clarke. When I ask you, we are tell you that we are detective. So handling the crime scene and the subsequent investigation raises serious questions about accountability and professionalism. The truth must come to light and those responsible for this egregiousness must be held accountable. All of these things is just mind-boggling. Oh, you fire so many rounds. 572. Nah, man. You understand? The detective corporal was been on the witness stand, facing question from defense, disagree with suggestion from King's Counsel Peter Champagne that he did a poor job at the scene and has been most unhelpful in what he did that day. My suggestion to you, sir, as a lawyer, is that in relation to how you dealt with this scene and your role, you did not act with the highest level of professionalism in terms of what your training requires, Champagne said. Yes, sir, I did, the witness replied. The witness, who repeatedly stated, I can't recall us to several questions asked by the defense, also denied that there were many things that he had forgotten. Why am I have amnesia? However, he maintained that he acted exclusively on instruction from the crime scene manager, who is now deceased. So I might tell life on the dead man. The witness accepted that he could not exercise independent professionalism on the scene because he was supervised. Champagne is representing Lance Corporal Odell Buckley, one of the three soldiers charged with Clarke's murder, and is coming and be tried in the Home Circuit Court. All of them is guilty of murder. All of them, all three of them. So them plant something at the scene now. It's a plant when them plant on the scene. So the detective corporal who visited the scene at Kirkland Close in Redhill, St. Andrew, hours after the 63-year-old was killed, said in a statement which was read into evidence that he found 572 M16 spent shell, one M16 magazine with 30 live rounds, and if you check that magazine, I tell you, if you check it, it go right back to the JDF Army and a FIDEM magazine. A FIDEM, and a gunman magazine, a FIDEM. A FIDEM things that have a certain serial number on it. And then so them find 9mm spent shell, 5.38 cartridges, 6 canister, and a numerous brown stain resembling blood. That after we kill the man, you know. So the witness also took over 1,000 photographs, said he collected 8 red stripe bottles at the scene and examined them for a fingerprint, but no prints were found. So them red stripe bottles, they were planted. Now if you drink red stripe, fingerprint must step on it. So I plant the soldier, them go with all of them together and plant it. And Mr. Clarke no drink. However, during cross-examination, the witness agreed that several other red stripe bottles were scattered across the premises at the same time. He said he could not recall if any tests for DNA or fingerprints. But earlier it said them tested and there was no okay. Yes, because as detective now, I'm not going to talk why you have certain things where you use, you understand, preliminary tests, and you will say fingerprint upon it. Where you just apply upon it, and then you see it come up on them thing. Or you dust it, and you will see the prints. So there was none on it. Because plant it. And them don't want to fit them fingerprint on it, them plant it. You understand? So when I asked if he had caused testing to be done on the bottles, he said that it was not his duty. He also indicated that he had yet to organize any bottle to be tested for fingerprint. During further questioning, the witness admitted that he had written his 3 statements long after taking the photographs, and was still writing about the pictures up to 2 years after the incident. The witness's competence was also scrutinized by attorney at law Linton Garden, representing Private Henry. Yeah, you understand, Private Henry. Garden also questioned the witness about taking DNA samples of the bottle and was told that he could not have taken them on his initiative and that he was never instructed to do so. The witness stated that he did not take any fingerprints on the doorknob in the basement or any doorknobs in the house. He took no photographs of the cupboard above the closet in the main bedroom or pictures of the top of the closet. The investigator maintained that he did only what he was told. He asked whether he had taken any photograph of the bushy area at the rear of the premises leading down to the main road, but the witness said he had not, admitted that it would have been helpful. At the same time, he rejected a suggestion that if he had not failed to photograph the bushy area, it would have assisted with a fuller understanding of the matter. Minor, Keith Clarke was killed inside his main bedroom during a police military operation aimed at capturing then fugitive Christopher Dudusco, who was wanted by the United States on drugs and weapons charges. Alright, it was simple. Them fire 572 rounds. Wampty police them that was there, them supposed to come testify against the soldier them. That they were there to tell the court that there was no shootout of them, just go there and spray. That their job was just to kill this man. So the defense, that Coke and 7 to 8 of his heavily armed cronies were camping out defense at the basement of Clarke's home when the security forces swooped down. Defense contend that Dudus and Clarke were in business like that and same escape at the back of the house. However, Clarke widow and daughter have maintained that there was no one hiding in their basement. Clarke insists that they were the only one home that night. They both testified that the soldier shot Clarke while climbing down from the closet inside the main bedroom with his back turned. So a cowardly act. Them shoot the man when he not even see and kill him. So Keith, as we tell you already, Keith Clarke's murder case, a cold-blooded assassination. Keith Clarke's tragic death in May 2010 was more than just a murder. It was an execution. How can 3 soldiers fire 572 5.6 millimeter ammunition at a single man in his own home? This overwhelming and excessive use of force leaves no room for doubt. This was a cold-blooded assassination. Under no circumstances. There's no justification for firing 572 rounds at one person. So that man get a close casket. Murder him. How you do that? How you sleep at night and then you attack about self-defense? That cannot be self-defense. You fire 572 shot, bullets, and kill the man. There was no chance of this man to live. That is a straight murder. And these 3 soldiers are guilty of murder. If they're not guilty of murder, well, I don't know what else is murder. So have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.